Well, today is the third session of Canvas 1357. Right now I'm calling it Koi Lilies. At some point a real title will come along. I've used that title way too much, especially in the very beginning. Yesterday I stopped, during swimming in paint. I managed to get this part done rather quickly and sporadically because I didn't really have much time. They like to get together and paint toward the end of the day, or they like me to do that. So I'm going to get to it a little bit. I typically start each session at the top. I did that yesterday in swimming in paint. I started right here. And I have to make sure that I get this camera or this thing this way. And so it's kind of a little bit loosely done. It kind of merges this into that. I did a little bit of stuff through there, and I really do like the amethyst in this playbook. I'm using the same brushes. This is what I was using yesterday. And let's see, where do I want to start? Good question. I think I'm going to start on this koi right here and do a little bit of the work on this. And honestly, I probably should have my iPad because I think I will do it this way. The first session there, it was in my way and it was just driving me nuts. I'm going to start up here in this area right there. I typically start at the top of each session and work my way down until I finally get it where I want it. And let's see, I'm going to make some paint. I really should have done this before I started this even. Yeah, I got things a little bit out of whack here. But I'll get it going here quick enough. I'm going to go with this small brush. And going to wet the area. I think what I'm going to do is just wet the area around this yellow fish. And I'm going to use the combination of the iPad. Maybe I'll use the iPad more today, maybe I won't. I'm not really sure. And this brush here is just a bit smaller than my typical brush. But I just need to get this area here kind of lightened up because it comes down through this way. This is the reflection that happens. Yeah, that's more paint there. Take me a little bit here to get in the ball game. Yeah, it's nice. A little more white, I think. A little more of that. Yeah, okay, I'm back to it now. And there's a movement that I see that just kind of comes along through this way. Comes off the high spots, the highlights, like right there. Like that. So I don't want to go too far. I got to get in the mood for this. Come into this a bit. Okay. Kind of clean the brush a bit. And I'm going to go right into yellow. See if I can raise it up a bit from where it was. I had a little bit of trouble with this yesterday, or not yesterday, but the day before. Getting the right thing there. really need to do it where I was doing that light. I want it to go like that. Get that really bright. Hopefully you guys can see that. I was standing in such a way. I have to remember to do this. I'm so wired up here that all these crazy things that yeah, see, now this is working. On the second day this works a little bit better. The third day or whenever you're working on it. After it dries a bit. And that's what it's done. And it's very much through here. A little more medium and it doesn't have to be too thick. Nice thing about this is I can keep adding to it, and I will. And wherever there's a little bit of shade, and there's a little bit of shade through there, this movement right here, then it gets very intense. And you can use almost pure colors at that point, and that's kind of what really does make it sing, like through there, like that. It comes through like that and that. So that'll be light, and this is light, but there it's in the shadow more, so you really do start to see the color of the fish, even down to there maybe. There it'll be very light, and here it'll be fine, because it's starting to get the shade of that, at least in this one, not so much in the reference maybe, but the way I'm doing it. Okay, I kind of like that. And these aren't glazes. These really, it's just paint. I'm going to come back to this. And because I put that there, oops, daisy. Oh, put it in the wrong spot. That's dark, this is light. That's light. Through there is light. And I did that wrong. Let's see if I can kind of just, better just take it out. Better to just take that little mark out. There we go. Not sure what I was thinking there for a second. All of this is really quite light through here. So really yesterday or the day before I'd made it dark, and I really shouldn't have. I'm going to throw the yellow into it, kind of mix it up a bit. Get a better look. That's dark, and I want it to be dark. And let's see, what do I need? And this is going to move into this fish. It's really pretty light there. I don't have them in quite the same location as they are in the reference, which is fine. I mean, you get through that. All right. Now I'm going to intensify the blue a bit. This is a cerulean blue, and I'm just putting white into it and whatever I had. Because I want to carry this blue movement this way a bit and into this part of the shadowing. Now I've got a lot of it there, but I'm just going to start to kind of get it in here a little bit. Now this one's pure. not much in the way of medium. And then that it's going to kind of go into this stuff right there. See, I've got some stuff there, and so it's going to merge its way in to these trees. And I'll go ahead and show you how that'll happen. Just went into some green. And I got this like that. Comes in like that. This is just oxide green and permanent green light, and whatever I've got on my brush. And then it goes very nicely into this. The reference here is a little bit higher key, and the one on the iPad is just really a different color. This is a softer French blue, ultramarine, a lot of red stuff in it, but that'll be okay. I'm just going to kind of do a little bit of this because there's some of that going through this whole area. So I'm kind of faking it. A little more of the blue. It'll pay off as I go, especially from a distance. So I added another level of detail in there that will work very nicely. There you go. And then I'll just come in like this. And I want to put that right there. And so that branch comes around this way, starts to encompass this fish. And I have a choice to either put that in or not. So what I think I'm going to do is work my way into it. I'm not sure what it'll do to the total. I'm going to put the French ultramarine, or not French ultramarine, but the cerulean blue into it. So it kind of goes in with what's happening there. And I just have to decide how far I'm going to go in with this thing. But it did shape up. You can see how it shaped up the tail of the fish, which was kind of nice. And since there's a little bit of glow on this fish, there's a lot of glow really, I'm going to lighten up and create a little glow there. I guess I'm putting it in like that. I'll clean up edges here in a bit. Take that in like that. So that might work. The other thing that has to happen in this, and I'm going to do that right now, I need a mark right here to kind of carry the movement through like that. May add to it later, but this is pretty close. I'm pretty happy with that. And then I think what I'm going to do is take all this paint, it's part of my mud now, just swish it in a little bit. I'm going to get a color, put some of that into it too. That's the amethyst color. And what I think I will do, there's another tone in here that I'm just going to lightly put in. It's a subtone, let's say. And it'll start to get me over here to this, right there, and to this. So I'm kind of bringing this taupe color on over, and then I'm going to do a little something here. I'm going to go back into that cerulean blue, a little medium, and I think I'm going to take a little of that peacock color, because I got a lot of that in this. And I'm going to come in and put a second, a little too light, I want it darker. So I'm going to go pure. I'm going to mess around, just get darker. Yeah, that's better. I think it's a little bit better. And I'm just going to kind of start to merge in, wet it up a bit, because I'm going to be in this area before long. And I really do hope I got not standing in front of this camera. All right. So I'm going to take a break here. What I'm going to do is put some paint on the thing and stop the clip so it's not too long in the editing process. Okay. All right. Now take a look at that back at a distance. Bring this thing all back up. You can see that. Oops, a daisy. All right. Get this thing straightened up again here. Okay. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the right color on the videos. Mostly, I guess, because of the day. I'm not really sure. Anyway, I am going to go back up and do a little something with the wet one. I'm going to clean this area right there, mostly because it's really pretty dry under there. So now that looks kind of much better, like that. Okay. And this looks pretty good. It's kind of a scribbling effect, but I like it. And that's kind of coming into that area, and I'll take a little bit. I don't know if I would do that or not. Eventually we'll get a lily out of this thing. Just come and put a nice, yeah, there you go. It's a pretty color lily. Yeah, got the shapes. I like that. That stays. And I'm just going to go into the other stuff I've got here. And I think I'm going to let that be in the water. And this lily right here, yeah, I do think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put a reflection there and just carry that like that. I think that will work. Okay. I'm good with that. Take a little of this over that way. All right, let's see. Well, I put some blue out. And I'll take a little green, I think. Because I want to come back. I just want to carry this deep tone through here and break up a little bit of what I did just a few minutes ago. There, like that. See, that does help. And that carries from there. And I think like that. I think I'm okay with that. And since I now know that this is part of this, I'm just going to go ahead like that. And I'll come back the other way because there's when I get into this fish, this will become clearer. And I think I'm going to go down like this. Yeah, okay, that's good. I'm on board. Now I have to add another color blue, unfortunately. Let's see. This is Charvin from Jerry's. I buy all my art supplies from Jerry's. Since the beginning, they deliver nice and quick and fast and great customer service. good products. They always have a sale. But anyways, very happy with their service. It's pretty good. Just wanted to add a little bit of blue in there because it's coming up from there. So it's just kind of like color rhythms. I'm just taking it down this way. I'm not sure exactly where it'll end in this whole thing. I'm going to do something. Well, I'm going to do that. How about that? Who guessed? It's right there, but the color was right. So I think I stay with that. Kind of take that blue over and leave some open areas because this is in the shade. And so this is when a painting starts to depart from what you're looking at. It starts to take on a life of its own. And I think I rather like that. Might not look good from the back yet, but it will. That's that. And I already had the blue there, so that part's pretty good. Just switch that down a bit. And I want to darken. Whoops, that's not darkening, is it? But you know, I like the mark. I like the mark a lot. So I'm going to carry that kind of over that way. Hope it shows up in the video. All right. And I think I'm just going to darken up through there a bit. Add some of that blue there because I like the movement of it. And maybe a little bit, just to squirrel that up a bit. Get rid of a few little highlights that I don't want. Okay, I really like that. I like that connection. I want this about color and texture, so this is not like the last painting at all in that respect. I'm just going to carry this blue on down so it comes through. I'll bring more of it down that way when I get over to that side. Okay, I'm going to break this film again and bring this back up. Got to find out where about that is. All right, this is starting to work. That's starting to look transparent, like a water reflection, and I'm happy with that. Let's see. I'm not sure that the pad is going to be much good to me on this at all. I think what I'm going to go is right here. Kind of play with this guy a bit. I'm going to let that one alone. I'm also using a much smaller filbert today, and not my normal thing. It's a little bit small, but it works. It's soft. It's kind of like almost like sable, really. So I'm just going to wet some of this area up again. There we go. Very, very bright right through here. And so I'm going to kind of go like that. And bump up the saturation of this color a lot. And shape it up a bit. Got a little wonky through here. Can reinstate that easy enough. And a little bit of it there, a lot of it there. As you get painting, or you get the canvas filled in, things get a little clearer in what you're doing. And that's there. I'm just going to put that there just for the heck of it. I'm going to cover this a bit and kind of reshape it a bit. The fish is a little larger than what I had planned. No, not really. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But I do want a certain amount of texture to it as well. Start creating a glow up. There's something kind of interesting right there. I just see a little bit of. It'll make sense at some point. Maybe not now. And I think I'm going to go into my vermilion into this color. And so largely what's happening is that I am in some level repainting this little critter. So when I added the vermilion to this color here, it kind of has a kind of a pinkish cast to it, which is kind of nice. I like that. It's a graduation color, or like it's right there. And I kind of like that there, so I'm going to keep it. It's there too. And let's see. And I think that kind of is okay. All right. That goes that way. Dun, 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 dun. I'm going to go right straight into alizarin crimson with this same color because I want it really intense. These fish glow like that, and I want texture in this painting. It's really become obvious that's what I want, to me anyway. And maybe the painting wants it, but that's where I'm heading, and I can see it already. So now I'm just going to use the reference as a, I don't know what you call it exactly, an inspiration. Keep me on track so I don't deviate too much. So I've intensified colors pretty dramatically, in fact. Might not show up, but they are. I think one of my next projects is to, and I'm going to kind of run this into the, see how I'm just running that up into the blue sky. That's because this thing fractures. When it's in shadow like this, it fractures when it hits the light, which is really why I got interested in doing these things in the very, very beginning. Down there at Mainmont, and they were just spectacular. The sun was hitting on, not shitting on, it was kind of hitting on them, and you just couldn't take your eyes off them. They just glowed. So I kind of like that. Yes, I do. All right. And what's kind of showing up there, so I started kind of getting that replaced. I reshaped the dorsal fin in here, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm just going to kind of make that a little darker. And I'm going to change this. Well, I'm not going to do that either. All right. And where else could I use that color? Well, maybe there. And, well, there was a fish up there. That fish has departed this composition. It won't be there anymore. That's okay. Got enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. I think I'm going to put this right there. But you can't see that. But what I did was, is I just took that what little bit was on there, was just I swung it in there. I may get to that today. I don't think so, but I might. And I think I'm going to go back up here to scratchy nose, right up to here, and I'm going to take some of this green that I was monkeying with earlier, and I'm just going to come in and add to this all like that. I just kind of twirled the brush a little bit, and because there's other paint on there, it's kind of left remnants of that, what was in there a minute ago. Now that's kind of poking its way out a bit, so I'm pretty happy with that. And then I just got some white stuff. Let's see if that, no, that didn't do much. Anyway, it's lunchtime. Dogs haven't eaten. The old guy hasn't eaten. Now the coffee makes me wired. All right, so, okay, that's kind of working. I like that. Yeah, let's see if this, maybe. It's kind of a similar color, and I can just go in there and get rid of what I've got there, and I just kind of put this in there. Kind of follows that line, it kind of goes out, and I'll just put a little more of that there. The smaller filbert is going to give me a lighter look on this as far as texture, and a little more impressionistic, I guess. And I guess that's where this is going. And I'm just going to throw some of it that way. Carry it, move it from side to side, run it up through there. You might call it a little bit of scribbling. Okay. I'm going to call this for lunch, and I'm going to come back to it. I don't want the straight camera. I like how this is working out. This looks pretty good. There's a fracturing deal that happens here, and I'm going to do something. I'm going to fracture the color out like that. that I like. Okay, we're good there now. Okay, so it's getting a little late in the day. I think I want to go back. Maybe I want to go back up to there. No, I don't think so. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to do these two highlights. I almost forgot that. Clean off this mess. I'm going to use this in the lily pads. Waste not, want not. Got a nice new color there. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, this is more of a white color than it is. I don't know if I can pick it up on this or not. Yeah. This thing just really hasn't worked well on this one today. Forget it. There is a white area right there. A lot of texture on that. I'll just do a little something like that. Excuse me. And I'm going to take a little of this dirt and tone my white. I was fooling with this the other day. A little bit too wet when I did it. Sure about that. Take the lemon. And let's just see if I can. Yeah, there you go. I like that much better. And it kind of matches up with this a bit. And the highlights. This is actually looks pretty good from the distance. Okay. And I think I'm just going to go like that as well. Phase that in. Play with that a little bit. Take some green. Maybe the color that I need. There's something I was fooling with yesterday or the day before, and I really couldn't get it. I could see it, but when I'm getting the right colors, it's kind of there. I guess that's close enough. All right. And then we get a warm yellow, so I'm just going to go into the CAD medium. Just warm up the white a bit. Let's see what I get here. I took this out a couple of times the first go around. We'll take a little yellow. Do a little mixing on the canvas. And that shadow line there just really won't be there when it's in light. And it's going to go up like that, but I want a different brush to do that with, but I don't want to do it now. And because when it gets into the light, it'll be a lot more yellow. And that may work. Okay, liking that a bit. I'm going to add a little noise. Don't like that. Did like that, but I don't like that now. Well, maybe. It's in light. I'll come back to this. There's a glow right there that I was just kind of trying to get. This has to be done with a different brush than what I've got. And I don't like the texture. I like the texture and I don't like the texture, but I want to smooth it out more. But that's better. I like that better. And I think I'm going to do the same with this up here. So when I add texture again, I won't have to deal with any underneath texture, and I don't want to. All right. I wonder if I could do that with this brush. Got the paint. Has my attention. All right, let's just see if I can get this thing to happen right here. And I kind of did. It's the beginning of it anyway. So I sharpened up my blade. Oh, well, I guess that might work. Okay, I'll go with it. But now let's just see. That. Yeah, we'll see. Hard to say. All right. Let's see what I can do with all this stuff. I'm going to take the amethyst color and just drop it in to my mud pile. So now I've got a color that's kind of warm and somewhat related to there. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and take the rest of this white like this. Just see what I get. Yep, I get pretty green. And a little bit too bright for that, so I'm going to take some of this into it. I'm going to adjust it down. So between these two colors, I may have something here. Now let's see, I'll get this down and over so it's more focused. Let's see what I've got. Okay, well, it's not a bad color. That's for sure. Got a little more life to it, I think, than you might imagine. There you go. So it kind of like that. And I think I'll take it over this way. It's more medium. I don't like my paint to drag particularly. It's just more of that. And I get not sure I'm going to get much more done today. I'm kind of tired. I had to start out with computer problems for Brenda. Her computer decided to give her a problem. Not nice of it. That's what they do sometimes. Alright, let me go into this. And this starts to get into the water a bit, like that. Now, if this were a flat brush, I could get a much cleaner and sharper edge, but I'm kind of okay with this. For today, anyway. No point starting another brush for this. Kind of mixing, kind of like that, sort of. And then it'll come up. Really do need this green color, regardless. So I've kind of taken this one as far as I care to take it right at the moment. So a little more white. Medium is gone, so I'll get a little more medium. I'll use all this waste down there at the bottom of the canvas. And, well, I think I'm going to go with my flat brush. It's much easier. doing this kind of stuff with the flat brush. And get it nice and white. I get a color that I'm not getting out of this. I'll go back up to this place. It still needs to be lighter. Take a little of this. Yeah, that might help. It's a little brighter than what. Alright, gotta go with that. I'll get in front of the camera there. And I want it brighter right through here. I'll tell you one thing, this canvas will have a lot of paint on it. But that's kind of what I wanted. And like that. And I think I'm just going to go like that. I just got to get this off the canvas there. No point messing around about it. And come into this. I think I improved it a bit. What I didn't have is the color I wanted here. So I'm kind of working to the center of one. The closer they get to you, the more you can see them. And that'll be dark. Yeah, that's better. Lift it up. Kind of be able to use a lot of what I had yesterday. In like this, say, start to create a thing there. I thought it's pretty hard to try to duplicate these as you see them in the references, only because you kind of have to play this thing. So there could be a lily there. And I wanted this. Let's see, I kind of like that. Creates an edge. Let's see if I can take it. Do something else with it there. There you go. But I like that edge. It's very fluid. And I do one there. And I hope I wasn't standing in front of the camera. But now I've created a couple of edges here. This one, these two work really quite well. And then I can kind of clear up the center there. And let's just see what we get going here. Go get some scrapper out of here. So I'm kind of in this. May have to come back in and work into this. I think right there. I want that to come out. Like it's kind of in the water underneath all this. And go back up. So I got such a nice edge there. I wonder if I could get a nice edge there. Yes. And let's see what we can do right there. See, the flat brush is really a good brush for this stuff. Change color a bit on that. Let's just suggest that there's another one coming out of there. Kind of intersects with that blue. And yeah, I don't know about that. Not so sure about that one. I'll take this color down into the lower ones. I'm just going to go up here and get some of the, yeah, we call it amethyst. I'm just going to add a little zip to the program here. Alright, so now I'll start with this brush. I'll try to get some of the outer leaves. Then we'll put some of these into the water a bit. Kind of going into the center of it. So you're going to see that. You have a little come up that way. And that's going to come out that way. So it won't be your normal little lily. Alright, see. I have another one there. So this is kind of in the water. And well, we'll see. I'm not sure about that. Okay, so that kind of sets that up. And I think what I'll do this like that. That's going to have a reflection. Just really like that color. Kick butt. Now the idea was that I might come back in through down here and just put a couple like through there. And there's that old fish. And I think, yeah, add a little to there. So spreading the wealth, so to speak. And there you go. Basically, I've got some of this warm color that I was using there, and so that's really helping make these. So let's just see what happens. Okay, don't go too much further with that at the moment. And I know that's going to be in the water. Okay. We'll take a little of that out. Oh, that's nice. I like those moves. There. Okay, let's go back to this bottom part. I'll kind of set it up. Nice thing about it, I'll always be able to replace it if I don't like it. I'll take all this other paint as well. And I'm going to kind of get something going here. If I need it, I don't know that I need it, but who knows? Who knows? All I have to do is kind of go toward the center of one like that. Just go to the center. And then this will be all this stuff. Okay. My next area that I'm going to work on, I may do it today because the sun is not out quite the way it could be. It's there, but it's not. Taking some French ultramarine blue pure. Then it's just mixing with whatever I've got here. And just making a few details as I see them. So you can kind of see that I do have a tendency to work across the board here. And do a little bit of punctuation at the same time. And maybe like that. And I don't want to go in there. I'm not in the mood for that yet. Okay, so what I have to do is create these colors and come into this fish and create an outline around it. And it's doing pretty good so far. I wanted a much less complicated painting this time than I had yesterday. Or, well, in the last painting, not this painting. I'm going to kind of close that up a bit. And all right. Well, I got some white. This dries overnight, so I might just as well use it. So I'm going to come back to these colors that I've got in the water while I can. Maybe. I just have to play this a little bit by ear. I'm not sure what the heck I'm going to get. My pocket keeps hanging up on the... okay. No. Take advantage of stuff, Chuck. Light could be coming through there, even though it does. Well, I guess it does. Might not be able to get this as dark as I want it, so I think I'll just kind of roll with it. Well, the light is coming through this area, and I'll back paint it in with green. Maybe in this deal, maybe not. All right. The object here is to get rid of the blue, or the, not the blue, but the white. And whatever that takes. You can see how that cerulean blue really works by itself very nicely, in fact. And I can put it down here because that cerulean blue is almost identical to what's in here. So I'll take all the cerulean blue out of this pile and take some medium and make sure the camera's good. And I think change the game here a little bit. And come into this. And I've actually got a pretty good match going, and I want to come in like that. Part of that will be underwater, and part of this will be as well. So I'm going to merge this up this way. There you go. Go that way. And now let's close it up. And then add color to it. I better get the reference on that. I'm not sure what the heck it's doing down there. Okay, I'll cross that a little bit, knock it down. So light is coming across it. Up there, close that up. Another very cool little trick. That's one of those things that happens. It comes out and around. Carries the light, carries this around. And that could work right there maybe. And it does. And it could work there, and it somewhat does. And maybe, well, that's in the water. So what I want to do is go like that. Put it back in the water. Not letting it free yet. All right. I'll go get all of the highlights out of it. Or not highlights, but raw canvas. I don't use that raw canvas as part of my process necessarily. So, since I've got green here, so I'm going to go ahead and put green in there. A little of this, a little of that, a little of this. No, a little lighter, a little darker maybe. So let's just see what this does. Well, it's not so bad, is it? I'm just going to come back in through it. It just kind of merges it nicely. Could be a little darker. But it's a nice first step on this. And this fish is really not in that, but it could be kind of cool. Now these are big expressive moves, as you can see. So I want to darken it, so I'll try to darken it up with green, a little bit of red, and a little blue, a little green. Probably should put the red in it, but that's okay. Gives me a different take on the. Now that other little brush would be very good for parts of this. But I'm bringing the tree down into the wet so that I don't have to put these spots in later on. I don't want to do that. So I'll do it this way. So that means I'm just going to kind of make my brush work go a lot of different ways. And I'm going to come over into these like this. See how that works now? And I can start to follow some rhythms there. And these are kind of now in the weeds, so to speak. And this goes like that. I'm just going to carry it down. Don't fortify anything that I don't want. And take the rest of this, make a pile, add some blue to it, I think. Yeah, there you go. And kind of merge some of this in. This could be fairly dark. And let's see over it. Get up to the side. I've got enough in there now. And I want to get into the side. And I'm just going to go ahead and kind of close it up a bit. In many respects, this painting is on its own. It's some of that show through. Blend it that way. Stay away from the fish in this one. Just closing it up there because I'm going to paint that fish. I'm not going to do it today. I'll do it tomorrow morning when I'm fresh, which is the right way to do it, especially the fish. They're real pretty little creatures. And get some more of that French blue, or the, not French blue, but the cerulean blue. Use a rag. You can sometimes get these things, these caps. They're not thinking about us old folks and our delicate hands. They The only one that does that really well is Winsor Newton, and they do. So now I'm going to come in and pick up that blue like there and pull it down this way. And I really am liking what's happening with that in a big way. Because the bottom part of the painting can be very dark. It can really get dark down here, almost to this color. And I like to get as much in there as I can on the first go. So, yeah, see, that's a transition there now. This could be a cool painting. Ah. There's a little knob on a pull-out shelf that I'm continually hitting with this pocket. So it's just another thing I'm going to have to kind of take care of. So now I'm going to bring it kind of this way and kind of set it up. See what happens. This is kind of when a painting really does take over. Make no mistake about it. And then you just have to go with it. So I'm going to take that. Yeah, I'll fix that. Got two elements there that are kind of similar, and that's not a good thing. That's contriving something. And I'm going to come back up here and pull that blue like that into there. See how cool that looks? On over that. A lot of texture in this. I'm using a lot of paint. Yeah, see, that just kind of brings it together, doesn't it? This could be a good painting. This really could be. Or one that I like anyway. Just going to go like that. So there's a rhyme and a reason for stuff. So now there's a rhyme there. Or a rhythm. What do you want to call it? Okay. Okay, let's see. Got true potential here. Now, see, tomorrow, what I will do first, though, so I don't forget it, just put my brush into my yellow paint. It's one of those fun things. And you don't want it all over yourself, get it off. If you don't care, doesn't matter. Alright, I'm going to come out from this side and I'm just going to smooth that edge all around through there so that I don't have any textures that are going to mess with me and my fish. See? And I'm going to be able to fix some of that, even if there is a ridge. I want to make sure there's no ridges there. And there's none there either. So, and if we go down here, I'm just going to kind of ease this off. So if I should choose to not put that thing in there, I can just cover it. I don't do that too often. Generally, when I start to put something in there, it stays in there. But I want to get rid of all this high areas. Yeah, go. Same with over here. Because this is still in play. Okay, see if we get this thing lined up. You guys can see it nice. Okay. And I think that's a wrap for today. I've kind of done enough. Takes a while to edit these things, and that's what I have to do now is edit. Actually, I have to edit yesterday's. I just loaded the first segment, and I do like that. So there, it's better.